Hey, what is up everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you with the January 2nd edition of the Monday Night Raw 5-point preview, leading us up until Monday Night Raw. Honestly, in my opinion, on paper, the 5-point preview doesn't look like it's going to be a very big edition of Monday Night Raw. We have two real big things going down. The return of Goldberg, where he's going to come out and talk about the upcoming Royal Rumble, which is a month away. And then we have Braun Strowman versus Sami Zayn in a last man standing match, which was booked last week. Honestly, in my opinion, the Goldberg return came out of the middle of nowhere. A lot of times when it comes to guys like Brock Lesnar or Goldberg having their returns, these are things that are discussed. We know which days they're coming back. We know that The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels are going to be making an appearance on Monday Night Raw, I believe next week from New Orleans. Nobody really knows what these guys are going to be doing there, especially since we haven't seen Undertaker actually officially return to WWE. He's not in the Royal Rumble, so there's no real reason for him to be there. And they're treating it as if he's going to be actually on television and not a sort of treat for the fans there. There's rumors now that New Orleans is going to be getting WrestleMania, and that might be the reasons why Shawn Michaels and Undertaker are there, maybe as treats for the fans. Everybody has known basically one of the last times that Monday Night Raw comes to a city before they make the WrestleMania announcement. They like to really pump it up to get a large live gate, trying to make it a big ordeal so that way they get press. When they make the actual WrestleMania announcement, they get a nice little number. They packed so many fans into the Smoothie King Arena in New Orleans, and it really was a big deal that WrestleMania is coming up around the corner, making its return for WrestleMania 34. This edition of Monday Night Raw, honestly, to me, is going to be a big deal because of the factor that even though we have this 5-point preview, last week it was big news that SmackDown drew a larger rating than Monday Night Raw for the first time in a long time. SmackDown on paper looked like it was a big pay-per-view event. It had a main event. I believe it had two different title matches. Three in all. The main event was a World Heavyweight Championship match. You had a women's title match between Alexa Bliss and Becky Lynch, which is pretty much a big-time rivalry rematch right now in the women's division of SmackDown. You had American Alpha winning the tag titles. There was big deals all across the board on SmackDown. And on Monday Night Raw last week, it was treated as if we're just crawling our way through the holidays and just praying that once we get there. Over the history of time, the first edition of Monday Night Raw of the calendar year normally is really treated as if it is a big deal. They don't really have the fireworks set. I think that we're going to be getting a lot of things about the Royal Rumble, whether that's those boring matches where people sort of qualify and they just sort of put Chris Jericho against Titus O'Neil. And you're like, gee, I wonder who's going to win this match. It just is what it is. But hopefully, when things happen like this with SmackDown beating Monday Night Raw, you'll see Vince go into the writer's room. Damn it, folks. We gotta switch it up. We gotta grab it by the balls. And, fix some stuff. I can remember actually going to a Monday Night Raw in October a few years ago. And, Vince put himself in the main event against CM Punk in a no disqualification match where they beat the piss out of each other with kendo sticks because of the fact that they were tired of losing in the ratings to Monday Night Football, and Vince knew that he had to do something in order to make people change the channel. And I think honestly at that time, as well as Monday Night Football, there was the Major League Baseball playoffs, and it was like R-Truth was in the ring with Brodus Clay, doing some sort of a stupid match with Little Jimmy, and there was a break in the action, whether if it was halftime or a rain delay. Vince got on the screen and basically just said, boom, this is over, get to the back, we're going to commercial, and when we come back, I'm coming out. because he knew this was a downtime where fans needed something to watch because there was no football and there was no baseball going on at that time, and they were going to change to wrestling, and he wanted to give them a reason to watch. So I'm not really sure what that is going to be. I know that we're not going to be getting a WWE Universal title change or anything like that, but they got to pull something out of their hat. That's a really big deal. Goldberg is a big name, but we've already seen Goldberg return, hyping up Survivor Series, and it's not like we've been really sitting here on pins and needles waiting for Goldberg to make another return to WWE. Here it is in January. So I'm hoping this is going to be a good show, but I'm not really 100% sure. Goldberg coming back, we've already seen him talk and talk and talk. We did see him beat up Brock Lesnar for 90 seconds, winning that match at Survivor Series. If they had that match 100 more times, I don't think there's any more times out of 100 that Goldberg is going to beat Brock Lesnar in 90 seconds. So, just having them in the same ring at the Royal Rumble is going to be huge. But we'll have to see what happens when it comes down, because I think they're just basically setting up WrestleMania 33. Sami Zayn versus Braun Strowman, to me, honestly, should be a one-sided affair. Braun Strowman actually beating Sami Zayn in the last man standing match, because of the fact that it's a last man standing match. Sami Zayn can probably pick up a pipe or a kendo stick, or if it's like, a la Daniel Bryan and Kane, Sami Zayn can hit Braun Strowman with a car to gain some offense for a minute. But when it comes down to it, Braun Strowman is probably going to beat Sami Zayn, and I wouldn't be surprised if Sami Zayn gets beat so bad that he basically has to sit on the sideline of WWE until the Royal Rumble, where he makes his return, where he actually gets to eliminate Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman, to me right now, I think is being hyped up because they want to see a monster in the Royal Rumble that people think has a shot to win this match, even though I think we all know that Braun Strowman's not winning the Royal Rumble. And I think that's just all it is. I wouldn't be surprised if by WrestleMania, Braun Strowman is sort of forgotten. He's just a hot guy getting a push right now because they need somebody that people are going to think that is going to be challenging for the championship at WrestleMania, throwing people in different directions like the wrestling rumors that we get each and every week. The big main event of the Royal Rumble for Monday Night Raw is going to be Kevin Owens going up against Roman Reigns. This, of course, is going to have Chris Jericho in the shark cage up around the ring. I would love to see Goldberg maybe do some sort of interacting. I know that he's not going to wrestle, but seeing Goldberg maybe, talk the talk with Goldberg and Kevin Owens, where Goldberg is basically sort of being run down by Kevin Owens because of the fact that Kevin Owens thinks that Goldberg is actually coming after the Universal Championship and was basically telling him that he doesn't really have a chance. I think that would be something that would be really good to build to the future. It's building fans questioning what is going to happen if this guy or this guy or this guy wins the Royal Rumble. On 205 Live this week, we had Neville beating Rich Swann in a non-title match. Nobody told me. I saw the pinfall. I went a little bit crazy. And then the show just ended. So no doubt in my mind they're building up to, I guess, Neville versus Rich Swann at the pay-per-view. Or maybe they'll do the title change there. But that's something that, Neville's pretty cool, but he's not going to be really making me run to change the channel to watch this guy. Bayley versus Charlotte, the match has pretty much already been named, I think, so I don't know what you really do to build for this match, but I'm looking forward to it. I think that Charlotte's going to win, and there's no chance for Bayley to be the champion yet, but anything can happen if Vince thinks he needs to push a number, because Charlotte can lose because it's not a pay-per-view. But this is the edition of Monday Night Raw with the 5-point preview. We'll add this on to where we talk about Goldberg a little bit more, as well as talking about Sami Zayn versus Braun Strowman. I'll see you guys down the road, and peace out, everybody. Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you with the Monday Night Raw preview for January 2nd, 2017. The big hook for tomorrow night's Monday Night Raw is going to be Goldberg. It's going to be on the show. Honestly, this was a little bit of a surprise to me. We are 4 weeks out of the Royal Rumble. They are treating the Royal Rumble match as if basically it is It is Brock versus Goldberg 2. They're basically treating this as if it is a rematch. They have not announced any other names of competitors that are going to be in the Royal Rumble. And when they show pictures of the Royal Rumble, it is basically show Brock versus Goldberg. This is going to happen. I think this is going to be a big face-off during the show. I think it is going to build towards a WrestleMania 33 match where we get to see if Brock is going to get restitution for the 90-second loss at Survivor Series. I don't know what they're going to do. It has been said that Brock and Goldberg are not even going to be in the same area code until the Royal Rumble to build anticipation of seeing these guys going at it yet once again. I think it'll be a miracle if these guys are like number 1 and number 2 and they just beat the crap out of each other at the beginning of the match. I wouldn't be surprised if both of these guys draw numbers in the 20s to 30s and sort of build anticipation for the soon-to-be finish of the match. Not having a very long time in there, maybe like number 23, maybe number 25. They beat the crap out of each other. They happen to fall over the top rope, and the match continues, but it gives you enough to make you think, son of a bitch, I can't wait for WrestleMania. I'm going to make sure that I'm going to be seeing this one. When it comes to what Goldberg is going to be doing on Monday Night Raw, I wouldn't be surprised to see maybe some sort of interaction between Goldberg and maybe Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho. Maybe Kevin Owens, wondering why Goldberg is in so much anticipation of being in the Royal Rumble match. Is it that he just wants to get his hands on Goldberg? Or does he really think that he has what it takes to become a WWE champion? You can sort of build something up in a really good sort of, one night only angle of, Goldberg and Kevin Owens to make you think that Goldberg really has a chance to win the Royal Rumble and go on to WrestleMania to fight the WWE Championship. Because honestly, in my mind, I think that Goldberg is going to be a hook to be in the Royal Rumble, but I don't think Goldberg really is a guy that I have in my top 10 guys that has a chance of winning the Rumble this year. I just think that they're really building to Brock versus Goldberg, and that's just really going to be there. But if they did do some sort of an angle where it looked like Goldberg and Kevin Owens were going to be getting it on Monday Night Raw, I'd be hot fire for that, and I think that'd be good shit. So we'll see what goes down on Raw tomorrow. I don't know, with no Paul Heyman, no Brock Lesnar, Goldberg being on Raw is going to be nothing much more than what we've already seen. I mean, Goldberg, he came out and he waved at the fans, said he was glad to be there when he returned, made his return to WWE after years of being gone. Then him and Brock had their showdown. They had their match. It was 90 seconds. He came out and he sort of got to tip his hat. And from there, Stephanie invited him to come back for one more run. So we'll see what this means from here on out. But it's a big question mark for me. But I would love to see Goldberg versus Kevin Owens. All right, January 2nd edition of Monday Night Raw is built around the return of Goldberg, but also a big match for Sami Zayn, where he is going to be getting a chance to go up against Braun Strowman. This one has no real limits to the match, and basically this one is going to be a last man standing battle. You go back to Roadblock into the line. It was a 10-minute challenge where basically Sami Zayn got beat up from pillar to post and all around the outside of the ring. Basically, Braun Strowman charged at him. Sami Zayn was able to get out of the way. Braun went through the barricade. And from there, Sami Zayn sort of was able to rest the rest of the timeout. And because of this, he took a beating. He didn't quit. He didn't get pinned. Somehow, because of this, Sami Zayn was crowned the victor at Roadblock, which really didn't make any sense to me how they were treating him as if he was a champion and as if he had won it all when really Sami hadn't beat anything. He was barely able to get any offense in against Braun Strowman during the 10-minute battle. And from there, Mick Foley has basically saved him and put him off to the side while Braun Strowman has run rucksack over Monday Night Raw the last few weeks, getting, up in the face of Roman Reigns, getting up in the face of Seth Rollins, and really becoming a favorite for the upcoming Royal Rumble match, even to the point where people are thinking that maybe Roman Reigns will win the WWE Championship from Kevin Owens while Braun Strowman wins the Royal Rumble, creating a Braun Strowman versus Roman Reigns WrestleMania match. Honestly, in my mind, what they're doing right now is creating Braun Strowman as a monster. I've seen this over the past few years of being a wrestling fan, is that they build somebody up as being an ultimate favorite in the Royal Rumble match. And then once we actually get to it, we find a way to eliminate him. And then by WrestleMania, the guy really is a non-factor. And that's pretty much the way that I see Braun Strowman. There's some people that really love this guy, and there's some people that just don't really get it. I'm a guy that thinks that he has a place in the world of professional wrestling, but I'm not really sold on him as being a single star. I think that if he was the guy as a member of the Wyatts, still with Bray Wyatt, Luke Harper, Eric Rowan, this is the guy that you really could build. I mean, we've never seen the Wyatts family, when they break up, actually turn on each other. If Braun was able to actually attack Bray and go off on his own and become a babyface, or if Braun, got attacked and got dumped out of the group by the Wyatts, and we actually felt sympathy for him, maybe that would build some sort of a storyline. These guys were just sort of broken up by the Monday Night Raw draft, and because he was moved to Monday Night Raw, all of a sudden Braun Strowman was treated as if he was the hottest guy in the world. To me, honestly, I think they're building him up to get to WrestleMania. I wouldn't be surprised if Braun Strowman does beat the piss out of Sami Zayn on Monday Night Raw. We don't see Sami until the Royal Rumble, where Sami Zayn is the guy to eliminate Braun Strowman, when all of it takes is just basically one sort of a kick to make Braun Strowman fall over the top rope down to the floor. Then he gets a little bit of offense in after Braun throws 4 or 5 guys out. Sami Zayn looks like he's the big-time victor in this, and the feud between Braun Strowman and Sami Zayn continues, where Sami is the ultimate underdog, but he's still able to find a way to pull out the victory without actually putting Braun Strowman's shoulders to the mat 1, 2, 3.